We built concrete walls, locked our doors, turned on the lights. And for a while, it worked. We created a comforting illusion. An illusion called home, a place where the wild can no longer reach us. But some predators never respected human boundaries. They don't kick down doors. They don't leave footprints. They move silently, slipping into the spaces we never think about. Beneath floorboards. Inside car engines. Behind bathroom pipes. Under the bed just a few feet away. And unlike movie monsters, these creatures are real. Every year, deadly snakes are discovered inside human homes across the world. Sometimes, people never notice them until it's far too late. Tonight, we investigate the terrifying reality of predators living beside humans. So, before this video ends, you may want to check your room one more time. It's one of the most vulnerable moments of your day. You walk into the bathroom. Half asleep. Distracted. You don't look down. You just sit. And then. Pain. Sudden. Violent. Impossible to understand. This is not an urban legend. This is Chachoengseo Province, Thailand. The case of Adiporn Bunmakue. In 2016, the 38-year-old man sat down on his toilet, unaware that a 10-foot reticulated python had entered through the plumbing system. Seconds later, the snake struck upward from the bowl, sinking its teeth directly into his flesh. The bathroom instantly turned into a bloodbath. Adiporn fought back with his bare hands while his wife rushed in to help. Together, they managed to force the python loose after a brutal struggle. He survived. But only after severe blood loss, emergency treatment, and multiple stitches. Think, this was a freak accident. Just a few years later, another man in Samut Prakan, Thailand experienced something horrifyingly similar. The Nat Thangthwanan sat down on his toilet and suddenly felt a violent strike beneath him. Looking down, he saw a massive python clamped onto him inside the bowl. In blind panic, he grabbed a toilet brush and beat the snake until it released him. And Thailand isn't the only place where this happens. In Brisbane, Australia, Helen Richards entered her bathroom at night and sat down without turning on the light. Moments later, she felt a sharp bite. Hidden inside the toilet was a carpet python nearly 5 feet long. She escaped with only minor puncture wounds. But experts say, these encounters are becoming more common in areas where urban expansion overlaps with snake habitats. Snakes are excellent swimmers. Some species can remain underwater for surprisingly long periods of time. Sewer systems offer warmth, darkness, shelter, and rodents. To a snake, your plumbing may look less like a barrier, and more like a tunnel. So, tonight, before you sit down in the dark, turn on the light. And look first. You're driving down a highway. Cruise control is on. The windows are sealed. The car feels safe. Controlled. Predictable. Until you glance down near the pedals. And see movement. This is the ultimate trap at 60 miles per hour. In Queensland, Australia, a driver known only as Jimmy was traveling along a remote highway when something moved near his feet. Looking down, he froze. An eastern brown snake was slithering out from beneath the dashboard. One bite could kill him in under an hour. Then the snake lashed toward his legs. Trapped inside a moving vehicle with one of the deadliest snakes on Earth, Jimmy had to keep the car on the road while fighting for his life. Using a seatbelt knife, he slashed at the snake and managed to pull over onto the roadside. But when emergency crews arrived, Jimmy was already in deep shock. The snake was still somewhere inside the car. And this doesn't only happen in remote Australia. In North Carolina, a woman driving along a crowded interstate suddenly felt something brush against her ankle. At first, she thought it was a loose wire. Then she looked down. Wrapped around the gas pedal was a 5-foot snake. Panic took over instantly. She couldn't safely brake. She couldn't move her feet without touching the animal. Somehow, she shifted into neutral and coasted toward the shoulder before abandoning the vehicle in traffic. And the reason this happens is surprisingly simple. Even hours after a car is parked, the engine block stays warm. To a cold-blooded predator, it feels like shelter. Snakes crawl inside through wheel wells, undercarriages, and tiny openings beneath the vehicle. But once the engine starts, the heat rises. The metal vibrates. The snake panics. And sometimes, the only escape route leads straight into the cabin. Right beside your feet. And it's happening across the world. In Australia, eastern brown snakes and carpet pythons are regularly pulled from engine compartments. In Thailand and Indonesia, reticulated pythons have been discovered beneath motorcycle seats and inside parked cars. In India, cobras are frequently found sheltering inside engines during cooler months. And in parts of the United States, rat snakes and even rattlesnakes have crawled into vehicles searching for warmth. In most cases, drivers never notice them, until the snake starts moving. So, the next time you feel something near your pedals, don't ignore it. Your bedroom is supposed to be your sanctuary. The one place where you can finally let your guard down. You turn off the lights. Pull up the blanket. And close your eyes. Certain that you are alone in the dark. But in some parts of the world, people don't always sleep alone. In rural India, one of the deadliest nighttime intruders is the common krait. It doesn't enter homes to hunt humans. It enters because your body is warm. During hot seasons, kraits routinely slip through open doors, cracks in walls, and gaps beneath roofs. Sometimes, they climb directly into beds beside sleeping people. And the most terrifying part is what happens next. A krait's bite is often almost painless. Many victims briefly wake up, feel what seems like a small sting and fall asleep again. Hours later, the neurotoxin begins shutting down the body. Muscles stop responding. The lungs slowly become paralyzed. And many victims never wake up. But this nightmare is not limited to India. In South Africa, a mother named Shani Taylor entered her 2-year-old daughter's bedroom late at night after hearing a strange sound. She switched on a flashlight. Slowly scanned the room. And froze. Coiled directly across her daughter's chest, was a black mamba. One of Africa's deadliest snakes. The animal had wrapped itself around the sleeping child for warmth. One sudden movement could have triggered a strike. Unable to reach her daughter safely, the mother stood motionless in the doorway while emergency snake handlers rushed to the home. Human skin radiates heat long after sunset. And to a cold-blooded predator moving through the darkness, a sleeping body can feel like shelter. They are not searching for a fight. They are simply searching for warmth. So, tonight, when you slide beneath your blankets, remember. In some parts of the world, people don't always sleep alone. Sometimes, the monster isn't just visiting. Sometimes, it has already moved in. Imagine finally buying your dream home. Quiet. Peaceful. Safe. A place where your family can finally relax. And then one night, you hear it. A soft scratching sound inside the walls. Dry. Slow. Almost impossible to identify. You tell yourself it's probably mice. Maybe pipes. Maybe the house settling. Until the sounds start moving. In Idaho, USA, a family purchased a home completely unaware that it had been built above a massive underground snake den. As temperatures changed, the snakes began emerging from beneath the property. Not one. Not 10. Hundreds. Slithering through crawl spaces, behind drywall, and beneath the floorboards. At night, the family could hear movement inside the walls surrounding their bedrooms. Snake removers eventually pulled thousands of garter snakes from the property over time. The infestation became so overwhelming that the family eventually abandoned the home. And Idaho is far from the only place where this happens. In parts of Maryland and Georgia, black rat snakes regularly enter attics while hunting rodents. Some grow over 6 feet long. Hidden above ceilings, inside insulation, and between wooden beams, they can remain undetected for years. Homeowners often discover them only after finding shed skins, strange sounds in the walls, or sudden movement overhead late at night. We like to believe our homes are sealed off from the natural world. That concrete, wood, and locked doors keep the wilderness outside. But to a snake, your house may look very different. A warm structure. Dark hiding places. Water pipes. Rodents inside the walls. To them, it isn't a human home. It's shelter. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to confront you. Many are perfectly content living silently just inches away from human life. Hidden in walls. Beneath floors. Above ceilings. The stories we shared tonight are not fiction. They are real moments where the boundary between humans and predators quietly disappeared. So, tonight, when your house finally goes silent, listen carefully. Because somewhere in the darkness, behind a wall, something might already be moving.